I will call the meeting to order. We have no one from the public, right?
If anyone from the public is called in, like to speak, please use the raise hand function in Zoom. Madam Chair, there are no hands raised.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's a student.
All right. Before we get into D, actually, Matthew, do you want to introduce yourself, or if you prefer Matt?
Oh, please call me Matt. If you guys call me Matthew, that just means I'm in trouble. So,
okay.
So my name is Matt Domachek. I've been living in Farmington ever since I was 3. I'm 27 now. Was a graduate at Farmington High School. Been through all my school years in Farmington. I was a former personal trainer, football coach at the Division III, Division I level, and now I work at the Connecticut General Assembly.
Okay, thank you, Matt. We're happy to have you join us as our Board of Education member.
Happy to be here.
I meant to reach out to you before the meeting, but my schedule got the better of me. So maybe we can touch base at some point outside of the meeting times. And
yeah, that's fine.
Figure out how to work together. Great. All right. Next item, then we have no presentations. So moving on to administrative, to review and approve the rules of procedure. You put those up for quorum.
Yes, we do. We have 5 members.
I watched him count.
All right, so 2 winters ago, it used to be that every other year we updated the rules of procedures to state who the chair was, who the staff liaison was. Now it just says the town council liaison shall be the chair, the staff liaison should be the recording secretary. In the absence of the chair, the Board of Education liaison shall serve as the chair. In case the chair couldn't make it, we didn't actually have a vice chair. So, but it's not, as long as no one has any issues with that, we're not going to change it. They used to then we ended up having to change it 3 times in 3 years, so I decided just to be more generic with it if no one's got any issues with it. The town clerk's office marks who's the chair and Board of Ed liaison, so we don't have to worry about that in terms of record keeping, but as long as no one has any issues.
Don't have any comments?
Okay, that was easy. All right, and then we've got minutes. 1 second, so we can get minutes for that meeting. We didn't have a quorum last time. As long as everyone read the minutes, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I need enough people to vote, so I can't have everyone abstain that wasn't here.
Anyone need the January 6th meeting minutes?
I've got December 2nd, leave it up on the screen, and
January 6th is here, if anyone.
Printed out. And we can just do it as one motion.
I did look at them. I didn't see anything.
No red flags raised.
Does anyone have any changes to the minutes?
No.
Can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes from December and January.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Thank you. All right, thank you. That's done.
All right. The April 25th, 2026 townwide cleanup. Stacy, are you the helm of this? Who's taking the lead right now? Because this is my first meeting as chair.
Jen is the amazing poster maker and prize getter.
Okay.
I'm the sign-up genius maker.
Okay.
And sign router.
So,
much more collaborative. We worked really hard at making it a
Good.
collaborative team effort and not, yeah.
I know how it was before.
Okay. So it's not like that anymore.
I appreciate that there are multiple people that know how to do this.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to pull together a list of prizes. We still have the Naples gift cards left over from last year because those weren't claimed. We've got 2 Naples gift cards, and then I thought I had the list of prizes, and I don't have them, in the drive, so I will get those, fill them out with the minutes. We can coordinate getting the same prizes again. I think we did Naples, Fork and Fire, Priya, reached out to Bollywood Dreams, but now it's
That's
a
something
Taste of Aurora. Aura?
Or I think.
Taste of Aura, or I'm thinking of Aurora Borealis. Taste of Aura, which I think it was a change of
I think it was a
ownership.
rebranding.
Yeah,
and
it was change of ownership, but it's someone
They're affiliated.
got, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Cursed.
it's been the same owner for the past 3 restaurants, just been different co-owners. So I'll do that. Supplies, I will take a look at. I think we might need more trash bags, but I think we need to buy like 6 boxes. I think we can buy 1 or 2, because I think they come in rolls. I'm gonna double check.
Yeah, 'cause we didn't use that many last year.
No.
'Cause it rained.
Oh, you didn't have a great weather.
It still wasn't bad. We still collected a good amount for it raining all day.
Matt, are you familiar with the cleanup?
No, I'm not. Can you please explain it to me?
Yes, sorry about that.
Oh, good.
So Green Efforts hosts an annual townwide cleanup. It actually started however many years ago as a different entity.
Years ago, 27?
26, 27 years ago. And it was a different organization that it started with, and then Green Efforts took it over 2 decades plus ago. And it's held, this year it will be April 25th. It's typically held around Earth Day, plus or minus. It's also, we coordinate with the town hazardous waste cleanup, hazardous waste collection days, in part because of town staff, as folks are already working on Saturday for the hazardous waste collection day. So, because we rely on public work staff to help with the emptying the dumpsters and collect, like, as the trash shows up, taking the dumpsters away, things along those lines. So we do those both on the same day. How many locations do we have? 3?
4.
4. We set up 4 locations, and committee members volunteer for a time slot to sit at a table and hand out bags and grabbers and gloves and get the names of people who are taking it, and then we help members of the community figure out where to go to look for trash, and then they collect the trash and bring it back. And then, are we still doing Have You All?
Yep.
Okay, and then the trash is weighed, and then there are prizes associated for the haul, so who brings in the most trash, and it's done both on a group, or what are the different categories? You have
Businesses,
Yeah, it depends on the.
Boy Scouts,
Yeah,
Girl Scouts.
We do a business, individual. We've done civic organization, and then,
Teams.
if there is, we have been doing a competition between the DTC and the RTC with no prize.
Mhm.
It's just bragging rights, of who collects more. There's no prize. I think I opened it up, or I had it in this folder.
What's the average amount of trash we usually get, not including last year? 500, 1,000,
Oh, no, it's over.
2,000?
It's, I mean,
That's the first church is cleaning out their books.
Yes, or just doing general cleanup. I love watching them come across.
it was 1,600 pounds last year
Okay.
with the rain,
Okay.
so that's not bad.
Uh,
We did company and then top 3 individuals last year.
Okay.
Or we did a Boy Scout troop. Just because there was not a lot of companies and group participation, so we just did the top 3 individuals. So it kind of depends. It's not set.
Starts at 8 to 1? Is that 9 to 1?
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
So you're saying somebody's cleaning out books, right? So literally, is Is it supposed to be picking up?
one.
Okay.
Yeah, what's
Right.
they
So
got.
this is,
Generally, it's picking up litter from around.
right, I was gonna say, it should be outdoor litter, that's.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Not cleaning out the garage.
Correct.
They have, this church happens to be across from the Tungus Hose Fire Station, and they tend to take advantage of,
But they also put together a team and do
They
other
do.
cleanup.
Yes,
so.
they do. And we encourage people to start cleaning up the week of, so starting what, Sunday before?
April 1st.
April 1st.
Yes.
April 1st.
April 1st.
That's expanded.
that
It
was-
used to be the week. Okay.
Sticking point with John River.
We will have to talk about it. 19 more, no.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Um, So yes, we have been doing April 1st. I mean, it's on our system. If you want to hold the trash for 3 weeks, on you.
And,
Good on you.
sorry, is there something, because I know we got some like glass and stuff like that, does somebody take the recyclables?
Oh, yes, but that was normally, John coordinated that with the Lions Club was taking their recyclables. They get some, it's not a ton. I'll have to figure out how we're gonna do that this year. To separate out
Because I would think-
the redeemables.
As much as we could, that's not trash. I mean, okay, I get the plastic's dirty and all that, so we probably can't, and that's why I asked about like books and stuff that.
Yeah, no,
Right,
yeah,
some
that was a joke. I
There's
shouldn't.
other things
Yeah.
we can use for that. But if there's recyclables that should be separated out of that.
And it goes to the Redemption Center, so I don't know if it needs to be spotlessly clean.
Traditionally, we would just have a recycling bin at each
Okay.
spot and ask people to like put them in, like hold them out, or they would go in their bag after they cleaned up and separated them out. When the Lions Club started, then we were giving out 2 plastic bags to every group, one for,
Recyclables, yeah.
yeah, and
Okay.
so, I was against that idea because I felt like we were putting way more plastic into the waste stream by adding a plastic bag but we can discuss whether that is my thing.
Hi.
Hi.
We're talking cleanup.
Not that much
recycling.
Yeah,
The stuff that we get is like disgusting.
Yeah. I
Stuff
just
has been
remember we
buried
had
in there.
those big, heavy glass bottles.
Oh, right,
Right,
those like
remember?
antique-y ones, or, yeah,
Did we put them in the trash?
I think,
Because
no.
again, I get that he would want, the Lions Club would want the recyclables because they are trying to get them returnable.
Yeah.
Kind of fence or whatever. But if we're getting glass, we should also try and separate it from the trash and not put it in a garbage and just get it recycled, right?
Yeah, like the 19 vodka bottles we found 2 years
that kind of
ago.
stuff, yeah. And what about the nips? We don't we
They're
get
not
many?
recyclable.
Oh,
they're
wait,
not redeemable, because they're too,
They're not
they're too,
recyclable
right,
either.
because they're too small.
Gotcha. So the money that we get for our committee is because people pay extra because they are garbage. Gotcha.
I missed the old days when it was just the blue tub for the recycling bin, we could just grab those.
Yeah.
Instead of the single stream, because that's easy to just leave at a location and fill up.
Yeah. I bet some people, I have one of those blue bins at my
I
house.
have
Yeah.
several because I moved with them.
Could we bring those? Just-
Yeah.
And put one at each
You can do
location?
that too, as long, you know, you can put your name on it and make sure you get it back.
Yeah.
I would be okay not getting
All
it.
right.
Oh, I use them for planting,
Oh, you do?
Mhm.
Oh, that's good.
but I don't use them.
All right, that's something we can do.
Okay.
Uh,
And then who is responsible for, like, so Public Works takes care of the dumpsters, but if we're doing recycling, who's responsible for the recyclable material?
It was the Lions Club, because they redeemed the the cans.
Okay.
Is there a student group at the high school maybe, like, or at one of the schools that?
It was so little in the past that I just took the bin home from my site
Okay.
and hoped that I wasn't judged for the 19 bottles of vodka that were in my recycling.
We have the recycling bins at Town Hall. So if we just bring them back to Town Hall, we can just put them in recycling, because it's the single stream recycling bins, we just have multiple for Town Hall. So we can do that as well, separate out cans and glass.
And are we going to I know John spearheaded the Lions Club partnership. Are we going to continue that?
I can reach out, I know at
Okay.
least, I know someone I can reach out to,
All right.
or he stops by Town Hall sometimes, so.
That was like the civic, so as the Lions Club, they were in that civic category?
No, they just collected the cans for, fundraising for them.
wasn't-
No, yeah, they weren't, no,
Okay.
no, they just drove around to the locations and picked up the cans.
So it's only cans, not bottles.
Redeemables, right?
Yeah, 'cause glass is redeemable.
Not all
The
stuff.
can,
Those plastic.
I'll call it the beer bottles versus the liquor bottle, beer bottles and wine bottles, yes. Right?
They're
No,
recyclable.
not wine bottles. I'm thinking of a 2 liters. Beer bottles, yes, the, wine and liquor bottles, no. Those can just go in the regular recycling.
So they seem to have a new kind of can out now that's very lightweight and doesn't say anything about being, 5
It's
cents a
not
pop.
labeled as renewable, it's not.
Okay, so that just goes in the recycling.
Place I go, doesn't check.
Oh.
I was gonna say the redemption center, they just,
Okay.
you got a bag of 200, and
Yeah.
that's all they check.
All right.
They hand you a $20 bill and you're going your way.
Hmm. Oh, okay.
It's probably easier for them just to,
Yes.
yeah.
I thought you should put them in those little machines.
Oh, God. That's horrifying.
So at each location, we'll try and have the blue bins, and then any glass or cans can go in there, and then from those blue bins, we would be separating out the things that are redeemable, and we're figuring out who that's gonna go to? Okay. And then the other stuff would just come back here if it doesn't have money associated with it, and you'll put it in the bin here. Okay.
Be on camera dumping a bunch of liquor bottles.
And we won't vouch for you.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know what he was doing.
Russ Fly, posters and outreach, Jen will do the poster, we're gonna keep propose the same locations of Tungus Hose, Farmington Fire, IAR, and Tungus Mead. I will just make sure, talk with the firehouses, make sure they're all set, Board of Ed, make sure there's nothing else going on, and then Tungus Mead is always the start of soccer, so I will just let our rec director know.
IAR, you need to ask them for the
Yep.
permission? Okay.
Yeah, so I do, Board of Ed has a building use form, the town has a public event form, or public event permit, I should say, so that way all the departments are aware it's going on, they're not. And then I just email the chiefs of the firehouses, and they're fine with it. And like I said, I'll notify the rec director, we'll be there as well. I think it's more of just, we're off to the side, it's not a huge deal. I don't think it's the end of the world for being in Tungus Mead.
What was the fourth one? IAR, Tungus Mead, Tungus Hose.
Farmington Fire on Main Street. I'll send out the prizes we gave out last year.
Can I ask a question, sorry, before you move
Yeah.
on? Are all 4 locations, like, necessary and busy and get a lot of traffic, or could there be a way to create more of like a celebratory kind of, like, instead of like you and I were just sitting alone at that location and kind of random people are coming by? Because IAR is not that far from Farmington, Maine Fire, right? There's still sort of this East Farms sort of a little bit, I don't know. Could there be more of a little bit of a woo-hoo environment where people are getting excited if they were condensed, or would we lose people?
Last year it was raining.
I know, yeah,
Yeah.
Detractor.
Only been doing IR for 3 or 4
So
years.
we had previously done the high school,
Mhm.
Tungus Mead, Tungus Hose, and
Mhm.
the other fire department. And so that, we dropped the high school and went to IAR to get that sort of side of town. That's why we added it.
Mhm,
So the question is, you,
Other side of Route 6.
Yeah,
mhm. Yeah.
everything was.
Yeah, I get it, it's sort of
Yeah.
spread out, but traditionally, are you getting a good kind of haul from each location? Yeah?
Yeah, it's very weather dependent, unfortunately.
Yeah.
People don't want to pick up trash in the
I
rain.
guess,
Yeah.
people are out and about, does it make a difference for them to drive to Main Street versus IAR? Is that a deterrent, or could there be a little bit more of an exciting atmosphere combining them? I have no idea, I'm just asking.
people don't really congregate at the pickup
Yeah,
and drop off.
Yeah, they grab the bags and grabbers, they'll
Yeah.
drive to the location, and they just bring the trash back to be weighed.
Mhm.
Right.
I'd be inclined to keep IAR. Everything else is on this side.
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, north of the river.
I had asked last month, I guess, about it, is, if you ever do anything for, because you have a captive audience, sharing something about the environment or resources or,
We,
but I think you said that.
yes, we have a lot of pamphlets that are probably getting old at this point.
They are old. Last year, we passed out stuff from Blue Earth, that does the.
Yes, yeah, that was new, Bree got those last year for us. There's something
I know it's something
from
that's like too late for
Hartford
this
Garden
year, but I
Club.
think we should do the sustainability fair in conjunction
Julie Gate,
It's not too late.
for this year.
Oh, trash talk.
Trash Talk, that's what it was, thank you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Sorry, kid.
No, it's okay.
We're gonna make our parking lot a big sustainability
I
fair.
was just saying, when you say, we have a captive audience, and it'd be nice to sort of level this up to the next thing, and a lot of the towns local to us are doing sustainability fairs, and that might be sort of what you're suggesting. And again, I think maybe it's too late to do this year, a whole planning thing, I don't know, but I think it would be nice to try and do something, it's purposely around Earth Day. I think a big sort of part of this, committee is education. Yeah.
Can I push that to the next next item on the agenda?
Yes. Mary mentioned it, so I just was going with it.
No, so are we good with cleanup for now?
Okay.
I'll get those things, start looking at your calendars for April. It's probably just the Thursday before cleanup day will be the only one open, but I will double check with the town council calendar, for a special meeting. So cleanup day is Saturday the 25th, so probably Thursday the 23rd for the special meeting. But I will, let me check that the calendar's free that day.
Meeting, 23rd.
And that's usually just,
I can't be here that night, so just,
yeah, it's usually just 15 minutes going over logistics for cleanup day.
okay.
Anything outstanding, and we can talk more at the April meeting, but I think that's what it was, it was the Thursday before last year.
Right.
I just gotta check, because it's all, budget workshops are done by then.
Yeah, I think and that's the third Tuesday, which means we wouldn't have a council meeting, right? Because council is
I would-
second and fourth.
So the 23rd is Thursday, 20th, I will have a zoning board of appeals meeting.
Mm-hmm.
The 13th, the 17th is vacation, I think. The 15th are wetlands, 7th, I'm sorry, 2nd and, getting lost, because I'm missing a week, that's why. 13th and the 27th is town plan and zoning. Will be the 7th. Unionville Historic will be the 2nd. Wetlands is the 1st and the. Let me check. It might be earlier in the week, but let me just check. I gotta check the calendar. Just there could be something on. Those are ours that I know. I don't know what the others are. So. And.
Annual town meeting. April is always funny. We don't actually meet both for town council. We don't actually meet both.
Farmington Historic is the 6th. I'll take a look at the calendar, and I'll propose something for, in March. So really just look at your calendar, see if you're available. All right, public
March or
education.
April?
April.
Yeah, but you said March, so.
At the March meeting, I'll
Okay, I see.
propose the date, I'll fully
Okay.
propose the dates.
Okay.
Good.
So-
All right, public education.
Okay.
All right, so before,
No, sorry.
no, that's all right. No, I'm gonna talk about public education.
All right, that's fine.
And then we can go with what's happening, but, I'm gonna talk about it more when we get into planning ahead, but one of the goals that I have is paying attention to the fact that, we have overburdened town staff overall across the board. And this is a town that doesn't like to increase taxes, and we have, and unfortunately, that's unavoidable because of the state of the economy. So asking for any money for green efforts initiatives will be challenging, to say the least. So one of the goals I have is to try to figure out how we can knock off some low-hanging fruit, take care of some things that are that don't cost money, and one of those items is public education, and trying to coordinate and hit it from multiple different avenues. So I know, Bree, you've been writing stuff for the town newsletter. I am still an admin for the Facebook page for Green Efforts, so if anyone wanted to do that, I can expand that out again. Yeah. But also to coordinate with, to try to figure out a couple of programs we can coordinate with the library. I've talked with Jocelyn, the director, and she's all on board with helping and anything that she can help us with to try to coordinate. So I think when I first joined Green Efforts in 2018, no one was on. Wow, this is a whole new, it was a very unwieldy agenda. Garrett wouldn't even know. It had, everything under the sun listed on the agenda, because it was like the committee wanted to tackle everything: hazardous waste, trash, climate change, whatever you can imagine, it was listed. And one of the first things we did was try to narrow it down. And one of that we did narrow it down to was public education, because that seemed like a task that, as a committee, we could handle. So one of the things that I'm looking for from the committee is both to address the topics question that's on here and figure out, what to do, figure out what topics we want to focus on, and also how. Like, what mechanisms do we want to use for public education?
Great. I'm not on Facebook, so
yes,
that's not going to be something I can help you all with. But I've been sort of following the campaign of Mom Donnie in New York, and TikTok is, so should we be on TikTok? I don't know. I don't know how you get on TikTok.
I killed TikTok?
No, but for political reasons, not for, but we could be on TikTok if we want to be on TikTok.
I don't want to be on
I'm not sure that
I don't know either.
I'm not sure that the target people that we want to reach as Farmington residents are on TikTok still. Right. I think the age group is still on Facebook. But, you're doing a lot of writing, and it's easy to take that writing and make it electronic and share it on Facebook, and also Instagram if we wanted to do Instagram with stuff that you're already creating, and then we're creating a broader audience that gets to see it and look at it.
Right.
Because we're putting it where they're already looking.
I've sort of adapted some of these pieces to put in Rose Ponte's newsletter that she sends out to businesses and things like that.
And has Rose been receptive to
Rose has been great. Okay. I mean, I just haven't sent her anything recently, but
who's that?
Economic Development Director.
Economic Development.
Oh, okay.
And she's been great, and she's been very receptive, and
she's got great relationships with all the businesses in town, and she works very hard to keep our businesses happy.
Right.
Do the schools still, I don't know, I know some parents may just toss them in the trash, but the Friday folders, I remember the Friday folders.
Online only, and it is now, they have very much pulled back on what they allow in the Friday folders.
No public announcements and that kind of thing.
I don't remember how they pull it in terms of like the town side, but for example, there used to be the Coder School, which is, a business used to be able to businesses used to be able to put something in the Friday folder to say, hey, are you interested in this? And the school said no. They pulled back on all that, just from an overwhelming perspective and having a line in the sand.
We can get something about cleanup day and some basic things like that, because that would be community stuff.
I don't know where their line is, if their line is strictly schools, because they made this change right after I got off, right around the time I left the Board of Education is when they made that change.
Does Matt know what's on Friday folders? What's allowed?
Repeat that one more time.
The Friday folders for the schools are all online, and about approximately 2-ish years ago, the school district made a decision to pull back on what they allowed in the Friday folders and to limit it to school information. And what I can't remember is if they also allowed some information coming from the town.
I believe they do. We haven't really talked about that as much, but I believe they do still.
Check with the superintendent.
If we did something like, put something in the Friday folder, is there any sort of civic involvement, requirement from the school kids?
Yeah, like service hours. High school has what's called the Interact Club. Did Maggie do the Interact Club? Okay. I just know Grace did, which requires community service hours. I think it was 20 hours a year. I remember Grace got it by volunteering at the Polo Grounds for something. I don't remember.
National Honor Society too, right?
National Honor Society, I think, has some.
Because it might be helpful for the cleanup day if we just
Yeah.
let kids know
I
about
think
that.
it's been replaced by the capstone projects. Because I know, I didn't grow up in Farmington, I grew up in Berlin, but when I went to high school, there's a community service requirement, and now it's kind of gone
Yeah, there is
in
no
place
separate-
of the capstone.
Yeah, there isn't a standalone community service requirement for seniors. It's just these clubs have community service components to them. There is also
I think Porter's had some.
Eco Club?
it's come and gone and come back. So I don't know where it stands right now. It all depends on whether or not someone has an interest. Steve Netco would be the person to ask. I can reach out to Steve.
Maybe if they are interested in getting involved, maybe they'd even want to do something at the cleanup day.
Yeah, we've always emailed the information to, it wasn't Steve Netco, it was somebody else whose name I'm blanking on right now. And he gave it to the Green Club at the high school.
Was it Lance?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
And then one year, we decided that we should have the high schoolers run one of the locations, and they did Tunxus, and that was like, they're pretty good. Yeah. So, yeah, and then that was like to try to get the high schoolers to like talk to, like, do.
I think in some ways too, like that education piece is where we need to put that first, you know, if we're talking about getting people more involved. I do think there's, that education is gonna have to be something that we really focus on, because I think that's gonna come first. I did wanna say, when you guys were talking about the high schools, PACE, the People's Action for Clean Energy organization in Connecticut, they have a NICER initiative. I can't remember what NICER stands for, but it's at, you know, capital N, small I, CER, NICER initiative. But they are very, very interested, PACE, in working with municipalities, but also they're talking about like nicer schools and nicer communities and nicer, you know, kind of businesses. So they have all these sort of different groups. So the woman at PACE in charge of that, her name is Deborah, I think of her last name. But I've been talking with her, and maybe it makes sense to somehow, if we're talking about education, you know, and maybe connecting to the schools, maybe collaborating with an organization that has some things in place that, you know, this is a nonprofit in Connecticut on PACE. They're very much about, they work really in the Simsbury sustainability group. They were working a lot with them. They went through the whole solar in Simsbury. They got to the battery backups. Like, all this was sort of, you know, helped through with PACE. And now, like I said, this NICER initiative. And there's something called Green Leaf Schools. It's Jim Clifford. Does that name sound familiar? Yeah. So Green Leaf has a certification for schools to be green, and like a whole program. And so I know PACE and NICER, they want to try and work with, and there are some grants. They're really small, because I think Greenleaf's budget isn't huge. But anyways, so there's some things there in terms of schools. If we're talking about stuff with the schools, maybe, and I don't know if that's normal in a meeting like this, to have somebody like PACE come, or.
I think we could, I mean, we've had Blue Earth present, we had, many years ago, someone from DEEP came to present about, pay as you throw for trash. So there is, if the committee's interested in it, we could have someone come and present to us, and then I would look at it as an opportunity for us as members to figure out what they're presenting that we can do. I get a little worried because, for example, Sustainable CT is a wonderful endeavor, but it's very administrative heavy, which just pretty much makes it very challenging to work with. Towns like West Hartford have an energy coordinator and a trash coordinator, so whose job is, we have Garrett, and they have a Garrett, and then.
Maybe we could find out. I have a call with her, 'cause it's sort of complementary or adjacent to other work that I'm doing, so I have a call with her this week, one day.
The one in West Hartford?
The woman at Pace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I could sort of chat with her a little bit about NYSER and Greenleaf and kind of what they're doing in the schools and, you know, yeah.
We did have them come to a meeting. We should see if there is a Green Club and try to get the Green Club members to come to that meeting.
And also check Ms. Porter's. One of you guys had Porter's.
Yeah, Ms. Porter's does have a group that usually does the pickup,
Sometimes they're very active.
cleanup. Yeah, it depends on, they don't have, it's not school vacation, it's like the long weekend or something, where it's like their spring break. It's called something, I forget, it's called something else, but, we do normally reach out to them
Also
for
might be
cleanup.
interesting to get the next level of school, underneath high school, the middle schools. Those kids are very active. I mean, if you look at those kids at that age, at middle school, they're walking the million miles at the polo grounds for cancer. Like, they're pretty, you know, pretty service-oriented, and they...
That was very much billed as a have fun with your friends kind of event.
Yeah.
So, but.
Picking up trash is also fun with your friends.
IAR used to have a Green Club too. Maureen, her name is not Messier anymore, not any, Russell, yes. She was on the committee for a while, and she did that at IAR for a while. I don't know if she still does, but.
She had said to me that, the middle school is doing some, initiative, or trying to get, students at that level involved in volunteering.
Well, IAR is starting to compost, right? So.
And Westwoods is Sarah Vasquez?
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
and she's a science.
Right.
I remember her.
Yeah.
Yes. I worked with it for the land
Yeah.
trust.
So
But,
that's a good point. That's a really good group, like those middle school kids.
Yeah.
going back to the CT PACE, in your conversation with them, does it make, here's my question, and maybe you can suss this out, does it make sense for them to present to the committee, or does it make sense, do they have a presentation that they would give to the public, and then we could coordinate with the library?
I think probably both. I think it might be good for us to meet or talk with her, just invite her via Zoom to chat with us and discuss, like, because PACER is a different initiative than what PACE is normally doing, right? So this is this new thing. So for her to talk with us about, you know, what they're doing, what are they helping the towns with? Did they run those meetings in Simsbury? I think maybe they did, right? Or I don't think the committees did. So maybe having her come to the meeting and just kind of going through the, like, okay, education is our top priority. What do they do in terms of education? Would this be something that they would come to the library and do? And what is this Nicer Schools initiative? And who's on board already? And what are they doing? And what does it require? And blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and maybe they have, you know, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Maybe they
Exactly.
have things that we can just
100%, yeah.
add on to what we're already doing.
Does the committee do like a long-term plan of these are our, we've decided these are our main goals and
We
trying to do
did.
this from the town?
I had one a while ago.
I think we should.
I mean, that might drive
Yeah,
what
I mean,
we,
I know we used to, back when the committee started,
Yep.
there was more
Because it was,
concrete, I don't want to say concrete plans, but there was more,
and the,
like a list of goals, but as
and the,
Patty
com-
said, it
yeah.
was listed out on the agenda fully.
Yeah, and the committee was originally formed, wasn't it part of the state it was a state statute or something that for the we became the Energy Commission as like we were, when the town did the partnering with direct, like for the direct energy stuff, and I didn't live in Farmington at that point in time, so this is all what people have told me, not what I
can look into it. I'm familiar with a lot of state statutes, but they're specific
It
to the
might have-
rest of my job.
No, it might have been that
It was created at the time, but
Yeah,
probably
and
not as
right,
not a requirement anymore.
And it had to be, we needed to designate a committee, I think, in order to use the direct energy, which was the,
Energy purchase.
I think sort of what you're saying, though, is, like, right now, today, we're on this education piece, and you're saying, okay, we don't really have a budget, we don't really have, you know, staff that we can rely on, so it's meaning.
rely on him.
No, I mean, like, to throw you a bunch of work.
right.
Your plate is full, we can't, like, don't write that in the minutes. We can't, like, throw more work at you.
In the minute.
No, please don't put that in the minutes, that was the wrong word. Right, so now we're talking about public education, and if we talk about, like, what Mary just said in terms of, like, maybe now is this time that we gather this information. Okay, so we find out from PACE, what do they do? We find out from NYSER, what do they do? We find out, you know, this, we throw it all on the table, and then we make a strategic plan from there that says, okay, how long do we have you for, you know, as our chair on town council?
2 years.
Okay, so we have 2 years to get a lot done. So then we spend these first couple of meetings, kind of going through what's possible, and then we make a strategy that's a 2-year plan of what we can get done without,
Can we have the NIP money?
yeah.
Can we have the NIP money, Patty?
What do you think of that a lot, Stacey?
I don't
miss
the
NIP money.
How much is it?
For environmental.
Has to be for environmental, it's been used
Oh.
for the MS4 permit, it was used to purchase a sweeper, right?
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Money is in this NIP fund? Like, how much is
It's
it
on sale.
annually?
I know.
About?
This is from the
Is
state.
it like $26,000?
No, the state-
It's a lot of money.
Added a 5-cent fee
Yeah,
to
5
the
cents.
NIPS, and the town that it is sold in gets that 5 cents because they cannot be redeemed.
For sustainability.
Wait a second.
Fund sustainability.
We make $26,000
I wouldn't do the math.
Don't.
Don't do the math.
that means in the town of Farmington.
It was sold in the town of Farmington.
How do you know how many nips?
So that's what it, 500,000? Does that sound right? Over the course of a year?
I think that's a little high.
High, but it's
I thought it was more like
$26,000, then, and we get 5 cents, that means we've sold 500.
We need to stop people from buying NIPS.
I will, the MS4,
What is that? Because
No,
I
that
think,
is-
isn't that a gang?
Go for it, Derek. No.
the MS4 is the Municipal Separate Storm Sewer Permit. So, because Farmington's stormwater drains to an impaired water body, which is the Farmington River, we have to perform testing of some of the outfalls, and then come up with solutions depending on the results of that water testing. Then we have to file a report every year. It's published on the draft report is on the town website currently. Should have been posted. If not, it is being posted. And I can send that out to everyone as well. So we hire a contractor to go out when there's significant rainfalls. However, there are certain criteria of when they can test. It cannot be the first rainstorm in X amount of time because then obviously the levels are elevated. It can't be when there's a significant amount of snow on the ground because then you're getting snow melt, it's diluting the test results.
And now just imagine every town in the valley has the
Right.
exact same requirements, and they're probably all hiring the same 2 to 3
Yeah.
handfuls of contractors.
And the Connecticut River and,
Is that what we use our NIP money for?
yes, because
Because
the-
it's
yeah.
because the contract, so it's a general permit. The general permit is actually incredibly, the general permit is actually rather onerous and burdensome on towns, and when they created the general permit.
That's an unfunded mandate.
Bingo, that's pretty much what everyone said. And although I don't advise municipalities in my current job. I did, and I had to advise other municipalities, not Farmington, on compliance with the MS4 permit, and it's expensive.
Important, obviously.
It's critical, it's important, it has to be done. It's just, it's one of those things that gets a little frustrating when you're like, we have all these great ideas, and the town is required to do all this stuff under the MS4 permit, so I can see that as a committee. If the town's already required to do it, why isn't it part of the budget? But unfortunately, it's expensive.
Yeah.
I
get it, where they're sort of saying, I'm sure, this money is coming from the state of Connecticut for environmental, this is a requirement for environmental, I get it.
I see.
It's on the 15th. It'll be another 66,000.
Okay, what was?
No, no.
Let's do the math.
I was just gonna say, there's this piece about, all sorts of stuff in that the new legislatures or the current legislature is gonna have to pass. And one of them is placing a 10-cent deposit on NIPS. So maybe we'll get more money.
It took a long time for the NIPS to get past the first.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think it wasn't effective or something, like they thought that we're still having a problem with them even though we've put that 5 cents on.
Well, maybe 10 cents.
You need to add like $10 to it, this is a real problem.
Alcoholism is actually the root of the
Circling
problem.
back to public education topics.
We are not gonna solve
Okay, so
alcoholism.
public education.
Circling back to our public education topics, I like the idea of having, CT PACE or, others present to us, so that way
Okay.
we have an idea of what is feasible as a committee. I do think one of the topics that is always comes up over and over and over is plain and simple recycling. It's one of those where every time I'm like, just right here, go to the website. But it was the one presentation that Green Efforts had that had like 80 people show up to at the library. Someone from Deep comes, she does the presentation, she does a PowerPoint, people come in with their recyclables and say, can I recycle this? And she tells them, and then she explains why or why not. And it was that presentation, actually, I think I may have told Kimberly this, that I learned that you can't recycle your prescription bottles. No. Not because, I knew you couldn't, but I assumed it was because, like, they were contaminated with medicines, and it's because they're too small. But because I learned that, I then said, so it's not just prescription bottles that I can't recycle, it's any bottle that is below 2 by 2 size.
Yeah, I mean, there is so I think the recycle education is huge, and even above and beyond like a deep presentation, I would love if we're able to do Facebook, to do recycling. So West Hartford has look at you, because I know you're not on Facebook.
No, but I've done this a zillion times, you know, what's in, what's out.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's all there.
Yeah, it is kind of.
Go on Facebook, you could just lift that up and put it on Facebook.
But what I was going to say is West Hartford, and I know they have their person that works, but if we're committed to being a working committee, I think we could add that to the Facebook communication, recycle information, because I think there is a lot more than just what's in and what's out. Because you can recycle prescription bottles, you have to use a paid service like Gridwell, and that would be something that could be interesting if we could raise money, that we could have, you know, those TerraCycle zero waste boxes. But beyond all that,
Problem with TerraCycle, Stacy? You had a problem with TerraCycle last time we talked.
well, yeah, because they're not a perfect solution.
Right.
Because they were making like
Step-
backpacks with
Yeah.
big Capri Sun on them.
There's
And I was like,
there's a
oh,
step solution, and so like, right now, Stop and Shop takes plastic film back free, right? But Highland Park Market doesn't, because they don't have a clue. When I stopped to talk to Highland Park Market, and I was like, you guys are like our town grocery store, locally owned, like if we're trying to support you, people that live in this neighborhood, you guys should offer plastic film recycling. And the woman was like, oh, that just goes in my blue bin. I was like, no.
Well, it's amazing how many people put their recycling in a plastic bag and then put it in there.
Yeah.
let's definitely do a library, what's in, what's out,
Yeah.
and like, let's do it in April for Earth Day.
Okay.
And some
Yeah.
kind of thing they can stick on their fridge.
So we've,
I
so
have.
do you know
I
how
have it on
much
my
money
fridge.
from the Green Efforts Fund? Do you know? I know it doesn't, I know it's not getting funded.
I know at,
No, but let's not buy anything.
I know
Stuff.
at,
I'd just like to know if we need to send something out. Just you.
I don't know
Okay.
the total. Part of that is because I started packing my office and I put it away. I think it's at least 50,000.
Wow.
Wow.
But again, we don't use it very much.
No, we
And then my
So it's
disclaimer is we don't.
increasing? Is it gonna be
Yes,
increasing?
well, now we get the
What kind?
textile recycling
Oh,
money.
okay, the textile recycling is going into it.
But our,
Use that for
But our-
composting in the school.
Exactly.
we're getting there.
Can't we, but
No,
aren't we?
I'm
Right.
asking for a broad
Yeah.
picture, just, I'm not saying we'll use it for
my,
stuff, I'm
my
just,
disclaimer is,
it occurred to me, yeah.
my disclaimer is, it's not a line item in the annual town budget for allocation,
Right.
so
So.
it's not secret, but I wouldn't.
To decide how that money is spent.
It's the green effort,
We do, it's
but
our funds. It was originally funded from the direct, and when
Right.
people switched through direct energy, the town got a kickback, and all that went into the Green Efforts Fund.
Right.
So for a while, it was just that, and at least as of 3-4 years ago, there were still like little amounts trickling in, because no
Yeah,
one had
I think
changed
it's-
their electricity supplier. But,
I wanna say it's gone up a few thousand in the past 4 years.
okay.
So
I
it's,
think we
we
should
don't, it's not a set amount, we don't know how much we get each year, so that's my only
spend
cautious.
that in 2 years, right?
No, we're very judicious, like we've used
And
it
that's,
to fund the bags,
we really buy it.
and when we buy
supplies
grabbers for cleanup day.
We get the prizes donated, we don't have to buy the prizes.
Mhm.
It's usually for the supplies for cleanup day. Did something else, I forgot.
Well,
Or-
somebody said young
The
staff.
The Green Efforts newsletter was done out of that
Right,
budget.
right.
But do we, would we use that for building those tables that we need to have for recycling and, I mean, for composting at IAR? Weren't we looking for money for?
Yes, we'll get to that for a
Okay.
portion, not,
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, I think if we carry on with this kind of like throwing all these ideas on the table for the education, and then we get to where we're making that plan, and then we get to like, okay, this is where we spend money then, because now we have a plan.
But can we, so we have to, right, to Stacy's point, having a strategic plan is great, but I think having a plan for at least one event in the next, 4 months is a good idea, and I don't wanna wait on planning that until we have a strategic plan, because,
Well, I'd love to do another public effort on dark skies at some point. Doesn't have to be, but it could be during the fall, when the fall migration is happening, or just before.
Do it with the land trust, with the.
that was gonna be my suggestion, is because the land trust does their own, I don't wanna say, they do their own public education, but coordinating events with the land trust. Because the
I know
land trust has
somebody
their
who's on the
own-
board. Do you now?
Well,
So
and-
does Bree.
Kate used to be on. She was the president of the land trust, that, obviously.
And she was the executive director.
Yeah, I'm sorry, executive director.
And she had, yes, I participated in the Land Trust Dark Skies presentation. I was on the panel.
Right.
However, whenever that was, 2 years
That
ago.
was a while, yeah, too.
Yeah, so I think,
Beginning of my last term, so 2 years ago.
So if I'd be happy to ask the land trust, or if you're already working with the land trust, you could.
They plan out their education meetings and plans usually in the fall for the following year, and they get it all booked up usually by early January.
All right, well, we're just a little late, but we could certainly call.
I can ask, it's Liz Bennett who's the chair of the education committee.
Are there other things from the town point of view that that would be very helpful for how the town is run, if people knew more besides recycling, like water, or dumping, or, protecting our waters, or, I don't know.
Well,
From your point of view, I just wonder.
yeah, so, and also as part of the MS4 permit requirements, and I'm just bringing it back around to that, the permit has its own public education requirements. So in the newsletter, you'll see little articles about washing your car on your lawn.
And I don't think
Nothing but
anyone
rain
reads
down the
it.
drain. When we do the dog licenses, we have a pamphlet that goes out with all the dog licenses to remind people to pick up after their pet waste.
right.
Because that is a factor. There's people that just let their pet go in the storm drain, and that
Gross.
the core,
Gross. Or they put their stuff in little plastic bags and leave them on the sidewalk.
What's up with that?
Right? I
I
know
don't
it.
understand that. Yeah, here's the little,
yes, that's exactly it. So we send those out every year with the dog license renewals.
Right.
So everyone with a dog should be getting that. So
Well, let's make this a little more
we make
sexy.
more copies. We make more copies every year. And we've got
it was crinkled in my purse, so.
Right.
bookmarks.
Got it when I got it.
We've got bookmarks for something
Mm-hmm.
in our office. So there is things that get done. So the town, our office does those because it's a requirement from the state that we have to do that.
Are we meeting the current requirements for the MS4?
As far as I don't, it's more Bruce and Shannon.
Okay.
I can find out.
The education one is always a little, every town I've talked to about it, the education one is always actually more challenging than you think to.
It's easy in Farmington because we have the townwide newsletter, and it is easy to just get out. 4 times a year, we get something in the newsletter. You add in getting with the dog licenses, that's more than once a quarter. If you, I don't remember what the requirement is, but I can find out. And that is a good resource that the town has, is the newsletter that goes to every homeowner in town.
Yeah, whether people read it or not, I don't know, but.
So I'll tell you when I don't know why I always do this, but the Farmington High School Building Committee, before the current building committee was formed, there was an ad hoc committee on communications, and they did a legit, scientifically sound, hired the survey company, townwide survey. And they were asked, how do you get your information? And the most common response was the town newsletter.
Oh, good.
Which was the exact reason why we increased the town newsletter from twice a year to 4 times a year.
I have a question just in that regard, and I know, what was the other option of how they got information?
Current, patch, social media, word of mouth.
Well, that's consoling to me to hear people are reading it.
Yeah, but if we're talking about just specific town news, it doesn't really feel like a competition that any of those other things would know, right? I mean,
It wasn't specifically the question wasn't 100% geared about Farmington news, but it was how do you get your information about like what's going on.
That was
the question. That would be 2018, 2019.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8.
And it was wild.
Say 6, 7.
7 years, no, 7, 8 years ago.
And it was while the Current had a dedicated reporter for Farmington.
And there was the Valley Press.
And there was the Valley Press.
That dropped down to 2 weeks and then has ceased
And it's
all.
gone.
Yes.
And now it's the Valley Life, but
Valley.
not every house in Farmington gets it. You have to affirmatively tell them you want it.
Oh.
Unless your house is worth a certain amount of money, and then you get it automatically. Yeah, so sorry, no.
I don't get it.
Yeah. You must get it.
I don't think so.
It used to be much prettier. You can sign up for it on their website, but if you don't know, you can, but it's not as good a paper as the Valley Life was. Because it's the, how to, clean the chakras in your house.
It's a lot of business promotion, it's not really about other things.
All right, so the question was the town, what was their preference of education?
I just wondered if there's something you wish the residents knew.
Recycle.
I think
Recycling.
What's in, what's out, in April.
I can find out, because I know,
What do they get the
No.
most calls about? What does, the people who.
why aren't you paving my road this year?
Roads.
Oh, roads.
Yes.
Roads.
I'm trying to think,
How can we make that?
I got, what did I get? I got something from Highway Department. I think it might have just been tonnages or weight. Because I don't know, because the recycling is all single stream. It's not like we get a report saying, well, this truck had there's contamination and we had to throw out the whole lot. So it goes through a central facility and it just goes from there. We don't.
didn't surpass whatever the percentage was. Like if you told me the contamination gets to like a certain threshold and we get fined.
You and I talked about that.
Oh, you and I
I
talked about it. Oh, I thought it was.
I've never heard that. I don't know that.
Yeah, so it was like a 10% contamination or something. If it's over a certain amount, Farmington gets a bill for it. And I spoke with whoever was in the department, this is way back, like 2 years ago. I spoke with her, and we talked about the bills, and Farmington had never been charged for a contamination.
Contamination by what? No, I understand that,
So
but,
like pizza boxes,
Yes.
they have grease, you can't.
There's an amount that they allow. They allow you to have a certain amount of wrong
Waste.
stuff, in the recycling. But then, once you go over that amount, you get a bill, a fee or something, I believe. And again, this is 2 years ago that I spoke with her, but she had never,
I was doing an article on recycling, and I called the town garage, and I talked to a woman, and I can't remember her name, but
Maureen?
maybe Maureen. And she said, I hate it when people put their trash into a plastic bag and put that in the recycling, because then the whole thing just goes right into the trash. So,
so there is some contamination, but not enough that it's costing the town money.
Right. I think there's cameras
There.
on the truck.
There are, on the pay-as-you-throw, there are cameras on trucks.
Right, and
I don't know, I don't know if we have. Yeah.
The liquor bottles.
But, so in terms of topics, recycling, my little thing is, I don't know, I can't come up with words anymore. Waste reduction is like, that's,
well, that's why.
Yeah, me too. I know we're talking about food waste at the schools, but we should be talking about
when we last visited it.
at the town.
Same with compost. I mean, I think compost is, but here's the, they're talking about garbage disposal in this Hartford Current piece, and they said, Ritter says, well, people have to pay for it. That's a no-go. So.
Know when our when our current contract's up for hauling waste?
I can find out.
Because one thought on waste reduction is that tip fees are only gonna go up. So as tip fees increase, at some point, we've been pretty lucky as residents, our trash fees have not gone up a whole lot. They actually did go up last year, but like for 2 years prior to that, they didn't go up.
Right,
Maybe.
it only went up
And it didn't go up a lot at all.
it wasn't even $5.
Right, yes, it was just a different number on the
Right,
check.
Right.
But at some point, it's going to have an impact, so reducing.
Recycling and reducing waste.
Right.
Yeah, reducing waste, so taking the food out of the trash, food waste costs less than trash. Could there ever be a point in time where the residents would pay less
That's what I was gonna ask.
trash
Probably
if we
not.
bought the food out of there and made up
Yeah,
the
I think
difference?
there's an increased cost in the processing of the composting waste. It's not much more. But again,
I don't know
and
if,
this is not meant negatively.
yeah,
A lot of issues are out of the control of the everyday consumer.
mhm,
A lot of the issue is that everything you buy at the grocery store comes wrapped in plastic,
mhm.
or either a plastic tub or a plastic bag. Almost everything
Yes.
that you cannot just pick up a head of, we'll use romaine. You cannot just pick up a head of romaine lettuce.
No, you have to buy three.
You have to buy 3 in a
plastic
plastic bag.
bag. And you only get the little parts, you don't get the.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of the waste is out of your control. The food waste you can separate out.
Mhm.
You can also, and there's 2 avenues for food waste. There's don't buy and cook more than you're going to eat in a week. As the recipe says, you need to use 2 pounds of chicken, and it's only 2 people. Do you need to use 2 pounds of chicken?
Mhm.
And then there's separating out the food waste. A lot of people have a garbage disposal, and
Right.
they're and pretty much everything goes down the garbage disposal.
Mhm.
If you're on septic, you cannot have, there's different systems, there's alternate systems. In general, you can't have a garbage disposal on a septic system because it just goes into your tank and it's just
Mhm. Mhm.
In some states, they've completely gotten rid of garbage disposals because of the sewer problems
Right.
with them.
Yeah, New York City, you can't. New York City also has compost. I was just in New York, and you walk down the street, and they have these little,
Well, West Hartford has 2 barrels, and they're adding now 4 more barrels, I believe, like, just right there, where you can just, and dump.
We looked at that. That was something the committee looked at, and it wasn't feasible. I don't remember
So
why.
I guess
When Tungus Mead is open, that's
Right.
where it was gonna
Yeah, 'cause
be,
had
it
to
was
be
a
some-
lot,
it had to
like,
be a
yeah.
specific
Right,
location
there,
and
yeah,
zoning
and West
Didn't
Hartford has,
Dunning Sand and Gravel try and do something like that out?
yes, they saw a permit to, I wanna say it was food composting,
Yeah,
and the neighborhood came out against it.
right. But this was a while ago.
Yes, this was
No neighbors there.
over 10 years, no, it's across the street.
Yeah.
There's a small industrial area, but then it's all the Highlands.
So I was just gonna say,
Island.
sort of, Garrett, what you said about the food waste cost. So I know just, and I don't know any of the details for it, but because I've been following West Hartford and Simsbury, West Hartford very clearly states that they're getting the food waste out of the trash has brought their waste costs down by 30%. So again, okay, my idea of making that go back to the citizens, you know, as a motivation maybe is not the right idea, but still, there's a benefit to
So, yeah, reducing,
found money. Either it's gonna be a little less expensive, or it's gonna be.
or it can offset other parts of your tax bill.
Yeah.
I think there's, yeah, I don't know what I was
West Hartford is a
gonna say.
lot, the other, as Patty mentioned, West Hartford is also a much larger town, they have a lot more people, but they're not much larger land area. They've got, I wanna say 60,000 people,
Mhm.
and I don't think the town is much larger than Farmington in terms of land mass.
Square footage, yeah.
So they've got a lot more people in a lot denser area, and there is a major cost reduction for the composting if you're not driving all over the place, if you're just stopping at every house in a neighborhood, which they did the pilot program, which is only one specific neighborhood, it wasn't the whole town.
Right.
And then they ended up pulling it back when they tried to go townwide, because there was some
And I guess I'm not even suggesting that the town right now, that's like the stepped approach. I'm suggesting the education on getting the food out of the trash. And,
But as a committee, we're committed to getting it into the schools
Mm-hmm.
as like a more bang for your buck. So we're moving in, we got Westwoods going, we're starting IAR right now, and then hopefully we'll get the high school
Mm-hmm.
so that,
I'm gonna be cognizant of the time, so we can move on.
not to cut you off, but,
No.
yeah, that's historically what we've
Yeah.
decided.
So, if we are going to have an event, we have to, and it's February, I don't know that we could get one planned in 2 months with the library.
Because they don't have space.
Don't know what their current, I don't know how far in advance they book. My thought would be to maybe look at it more as a recycling food waste education, as opposed to just straight up recycling.
Yeah, no, I think that's.
And I,
reduction of the total.
yeah, I think we could also potentially, I don't know who's on the garden club anymore. I used to know people on the garden club.
Farmington Garden Club?
Yes. You know anyone who's on the garden club?
Well, I am on the garden.
Oh, there we go,
I
Brittany.
joined.
I'm just thinking about.
But I am one of 8 members,
I'm just-
8 voting members.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if the garden club, if we put in like, if we put it as, you know, composting, if the garden club would also, you know, advertise.
I don't know. Well, they do have a, Instagram page.
So anyway.
We'll follow it, but,
There are
I mean-
master garden and composters,
Yes,
master
yes.
composters that come
Yes.
and do talks.
I do know somebody in the Garden Club of
Yeah.
Hartford who is a master composter.
So, so if we wanted to do an event and do recycling / composting, and, you know, we could have information out again about, also about, you know, have Helpsy, that's who they are now.
Yeah, that's,
You know, have like some other information available, but maybe focus the presentation on recycling and food waste, just to keep it manageable. That's like an approach.
That sounds great. I think we can also, instead of having things to pass out at the, you know, the trash day, instead of having pamphlets and things like that, we could just have little posters and they put them on their phones. They don't have to take.
QR codes.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not into QR codes.
Well, yeah,
I mean, I
take
do
them
know
to
how
a
to-
site on the
Right.
town.
yeah, if you just let me
Right.
know where you want, but the website, I can just, it's easy to
Right.
make, I can.
And so then, in order to plan this, we need, date. We need speakers and a location, which ideally would be the library.
The main library?
I mean-
The main library.
It's a weekend, I mean, this room is obviously available, there's space, I don't know. The new Town Hall 1928 building has a gymnasium space and a flex space on the gymnasium is on the third floor, there's a flex space on the third floor. I don't know how much the recreation department will be utilizing the gym on the weekends, I don't know if it's more of summer. I can work, they're moving from the Stone House in front of the Westwoods Golf Course to the new Town Hall, so we'll be working with them more closely. So if the library's not available, there might be alternate.
The library does advertising, so that is
Exactly, that's what I
beneficial.
want, yes.
Right, if,
Senior center, the community.
right, and there's the community center as well, which is, again, a large gym that they've got tables and chairs for, so it's really just understand the library is advertising, the Land Trust has their newsletter that they can put stuff in.
Right.
Rose has her 2 different newsletters she can put stuff in. We've got the Explore Farmington page that the town manager's office handles. Probably more avenues now than there were in the past. And then there's always, again, there's the option of alternate rooms if we need it. Like Kim had mentioned of a sustainability fair, well, we've got a gym in the new town hall. It's not the biggest gym, it's not, not as big as a high school gym, but if high school is busy with basketball practice on Saturday or something, again, it would depend on recreation's use of it, but there are multiple spaces available now.
Who would we get as speakers? We want somebody,
DEP.
Blue Earth,
So she went through waste reduction would be DEP, right? And then we could have additional information, or you could have a master composter, or you could have even just information from other things. And then we talked about PACE, well, at some point, at a later date.
Is there a problem having Blue Earth present as a town event and a,
I can find out, but they did present to us
I know they presented to the committee.
4 years ago now.
It was
It
right,
was like my first meeting 4 years
it was
ago.
your first meeting, it was right when Johnny was taking over.
I think as long as, I don't want to say the issue is, but they're the only contractor servicing Farmington.
They are,
There's
yeah.
multiple contractors in the state, but Blue Earth is the only one servicing Farmington area. There's ones by the shore, there's different regions, but Blue Earth is the only one in the area that I'm aware of
Yeah, I think
advertising
you're right.
compost. I think there's some companies that will do it, but they do it unless they have to. I can check.
I'm talking about for our presentation in April. I mean, I
Right.
think it would be great to just be fairly focused about what sounds like you're sort of wanting to turn this into the sustainability fair?
No, just as a speaker.
Okay.
Of people,
Okay.
of DEP and a Yukon Master Composter can say, here's how you can do it at home.
Okay. Okay.
Here's what you can do at home. And Blue Earth is
But if
saying,
you don't
if you don't want to,
Yeah, we're
plus
here.
Blue Earth can take
Mhm.
X,
Right.
Y, Z over what you can do at home, which we know,
Right.
they can take the meat and the egg shells is fine at home,
Right.
but you can't, but you can do meat and bones at home. You can do
Right.
meat and bones in Blue Earth.
To help me there.
No, I don't think
No,
milk or
no
dairy
animal
or.
products.
Yeah.
And I never had success with backyard composting, so I signed up
Me
for Blue
either.
Earth like 10 years ago.
I have egg cells all over my
And
backyard.
we got things growing out of it every year. We had a
Yeah.
crop of butternut squash.
Exactly. I was so sick.
So in terms of, all right, who's gonna take leads on planning and doing these different steps of someone should reach out to DEEP,
To start with
find it,
where do we start?
I think we might want to start with the library and the.
Find their availability.
find a date.
And then,
Hold a date or something and then go back out to the speakers, because I bet if we're looking at, they probably have more than one person that could speak.
So I'm happy to call the library.
okay.
Do we have a date in mind that we,
The day of the week that's
I know.
better for people in
Thursday
attendance.
night, people are willing to leave their house to do things.
Mhm. I don't have any.
The college drinking night, like, adults are, like, conditioned through college to go out on Thursdays.
Bree, just specify that it is a town committee.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think, because I've had other commissions ask, and then they got a pricing, and I checked the library director, she's like, no, if it's the town, it's free, so I'm just, like, maybe they didn't understand or didn't communicate.
Okay.
So are we giving Bree a night that we're thinking specifically?
I think,
Well, we have, some of those Thursday nights sound like they're sort of plugged up already. Like the
So Earth Day is the 20th? 22nd, I'm sorry.
23rd was when you were thinking of having a meeting.
Yeah.
But what if we just did it on the 23rd? I mean, we could even give people, we could promote as they're walking out the door, give them their little garbage and their grabbers and say, see you on Saturday, you know? we could-
Awesome.
But didn't
but
you,
as a committee, we want to meet that week too, so, okay, I never did, so I don't know.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay, never mind, we don't have.
But if we're at an
You can do it
event,
via
if
email.
we're at an event,
We just need to, like, if we're at the event, we can pick, it's really just to pick up the bins.
so we could
very
quickly coordinate.
yeah, last year you had to drop the bin off at my house because I couldn't come.
And then didn't I, oh no, I think someone else dropped it off, because then you had surgery and you couldn't even.
So then the idea is Thursday, the 23rd at the library?
Library has available.
What time?
23rd. Okay.
Typically, like,
23rd.
Yeah, what time does the library close?
I think most of their evening events they have starting at 7.
Okay, I will ask.
And how much time do we need? So 7 PM to?
I wouldn't,
Seven.
an hour and a half
Really?
at the most, yeah.
Room for an hour and a half,
Yeah.
but plan on an hour.
Yeah. You want to be cognizant of people's time,
Right,
and
right.
But booking the room
So
for the hour.
that's something, Bree, that you'll do right away before the
Yeah.
next meeting? And then
Right away.
somehow send us a message if it works, and then somebody would need to reach out to the other places then, right, and see.
We would then need to,
Now, this may fall apart because the speakers may not be able to do it, in which case, what's our backup plan? What would be the next date that we'd want to?
She can speak. She knows everything.
I just did I literally just came from Holyoke. I just did a big presentation on food waste, elimination of
well
Oh,
then,
waste reduction.
great.
We have a PowerPoint.
Great.
Oh,
But I don't think that makes sense. I think that you should call your master composter. I can call Blue Earth. And do you want to try in Deep, and do you have a contact at Deep?
I can find, I don't in that division, but
I don't mind trying if you're
Anna Blue Earth?
No.
I am. So I will happily, but I've gotten in touch with them last time to
Okay.
get those
Okay.
information to pass out.
I can try Deep if you want. You want me to try?
Thank you,
Okay.
I will let you do that.
Yeah. All right.
I can, contact I'm a master gardener, so I could contact
Oh, cool beans.
composter.
No, I haven't.
I know there's a woman who lives in
I'll make
Worcester.
a sign-up genius.
All right, so Bree, first we're gonna wait to hear back from Bree, then I'll do Deep, you're gonna do the compost, and Bree's gonna do Blue Earth, and then the idea would be to coordinate those 3 people, that they all know that three of them will be speaking, and our goal is waste reduction.
Okay, waste reduction. But I think it would be useful if we had another date. Just,
Right, well, we may have to come back and say, this is when they said they're available.
Yeah, I think if the library's not available on the 23rd, you should get other dates if the library has availability,
Okay.
and then.
Other Thursdays. Other Thursdays between 7 and 8:30 PM, see if they can offer you something. And should she have them, like, hold the date?
really the only, as long as there's not town council meeting,
And Thursdays, there wouldn't be.
right,
'Cause they're
that's
on
fine for Patty.
Handful on Monday, and the rest are Tuesdays.
And then my only, we'll call it I've got the first Tuesday for this meeting, the first Thursday for Unionville Historic District, and then my other meetings are usually on Mondays, depending on holidays and town council. You know, if town council's on a Monday, I get bumped. It
It happens a handful of times.
yes, it's,
Holidays
but I think
and town meeting.
the ZBA meets the third Monday of the month, and I think for the first half of the year, we're meeting on Tuesdays and Thursdays,
oh,
because of holidays and town council.
Okay, so we'll aim for the 23rd. If the library has that space, then we'll reach out to have them hold it, I guess.
Right.
We'll reach out
To our little speakers.
speakers, and we'll go from there.
We can do all that through email with each other.
Right.
Yeah,
You can do, basic scheduling type things through email, but no substantive conversations among the whole group, because then it becomes a quorum and it's an illegal public meeting.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
So you have to keep you can do a date, you can send, I got the library for this date.
Right.
But once it gets much more substantive than that, it becomes an illegal public meeting, because you can't notice an email.
started listening to
they are
that.
FOIable, so just keep that in mind.
They are what?
They're FOIable. All of your
Right.
emails are
Right.
subject to.
Exactly, well, I just started listening to that
Meeting.
meeting.
It's fun.
Very interesting.
Okay. All right, good. All right, so, moving along now, and we
All
can
right.
come back to other topics another day. School composting.
All right, so, reached out to Sam, Kilpatrick, who's the director of school facilities. He had budgeted $6,500 for the, composting tables at IAR. They totaled $9,738. So Sam is just requesting if the Green Efforts Committee would, supply $3,238 to help cover the cost of the IAR stations this year. This is a one-time cost. It's just for the
How
collection
much
stations. $3,238.
To make a motion? Or,
There'd be a motion, a second discussion,
Discussion.
and then,
And then a vote.
and then we would vote.
make a motion to approve that, or?
Make a motion to
Yeah,
provide
all-
$3,238.
Here's a fun
No.
logic legal thing. All motions are made in the affirmative. There's a motion to approve that failed is a denial. A motion to deny that failed is not an approval.
Right. Oh, God, okay.
So I always tell everyone, motions are always in the affirmative.
It has to be specific.
I make a motion to approve $3,238 to cover the cost of the IAR sorting station.
I second.
Any discussion?
Seems like,
It's a great idea.
seems like a good thing.
All right, no other comments? Going once, going twice. All those in favor?
Bye.
And then I am just gonna add, so, I wanna say word is getting around. So, the students at Union School are interested in starting a composting.
Yay!
So, the principal of Union School is coordinating with Sam currently.
Awesome.
It's early stages, but they're working on outlining a plan and requirements and things like that, so.
I thought Noah Wallace in the
Does
picture.
our council need to put that money in the budget?
Well, Board of Ed would request that as part of their,
Okay.
it's not necessarily a separate line item, it's part of the,
Okay.
Yeah, when
it's
Sam,
the trash line item, it's not
Matt,
like.
you're on top of that?
Yep, I'm good.
they had their budget meeting.
Oh, it's already,
Their budget
Yeah,
meeting.
it's passed.
for Union School also?
for Board
Yes.
of Ed.
No, the Board of Ed budget. So the trash line, did Sam talk about composting as part of any of your discussions?
No, he didn't.
So how it's been handled in the Board of Ed budget before is that there is a broad line item for waste removal or something along those lines, trash. And then the board doesn't vote on how that money is actually spent. And then Sam and other folks in charge will then decide how to spend the trash money. Yeah.
Like every bill that the town gets, the town council doesn't approve.
Right.
There's certain ones, yes,
Okay.
or,
Be over a certain amount.
yeah, there's a certain, yeah, it's not, a office supply order does not go to town council for approval.
Right, yeah. I was on the board when the Westwoods ones were
Yeah.
approved.
So they have their money, their budget is all set, now it's just up to them to make
Well,
sure that.
We have now given them the money for IAR, or we've approved
Right. to
Giving
finish
the money
purchasing the tape,
to- IAR.
So when is that gonna start?
yeah. If they can pay up for the tape.
And do we know how long it takes a table to?
No, I think I could find out from Sam.
It's okay, I just was
Yeah.
curious, if it's
Oh.
gonna be months and months, or?
Picture.
Yay.
Like, I knew there was something missing.
I'm sorry, just so I'm entirely clear, so then they take that food waste and it's going to Blue Earth?
Yep, Blue Earth, yeah, Blue Earth, they're contracted with Blue Earth, because again, Blue Earth is the only one in the area that currently offers this service, or is willing to offer this service.
Whoever's the staff at the school takes that bin, dumps it into a,
I think it's like, I think it's like,
dumpster out
yeah,
there.
it's a larger bin, I think it's more
And
like
then
a
Blue Earth.
curbside collection bin
Okay.
for trash. They're not filling up the little 5-gallon pails with food waste, after every lunch.
You know, every restaurant we go into, we should be asking, what are you doing with your compost? What are you doing with your food
There
waste?
are
And the grocery stores
requirements
too.
Yes, the
for,
grocery stores are required,
yeah,
because they're within a certain radius of, Southington's,
yes.
they changed their
Quantum
name.
Biopower.
Quantum Bio.
Yes, yeah, there is a state statute requirement for, I think, restaurants, I think it's the facilities.
Very large restaurants. so-
Yeah, you have to be over a certain
Yeah, it's not like
tonnage.
Naples, it's a.
that they have to.
Right, so like the AquaTurf, they have to compost their food waste because of how much they have.
Mhm.
Schools, it's over 26 tons per year. The high school does not hit that. I think, not, it doesn't Miss Porter's might, just because they serve multiple meals a day.
Right.
They're more likely to probably get closer to that total. But the current requirement for schools is that it's 26 tons per year, so I think the high school's below that. And again, there's a requirement that you have to be within a certain distance of a facility. In this case, it's Quantum Biopower. Farmington is within the range of Quantum Biopower, so anyone that would fall under that statute. I don't remember what the statute is,
Looked at it in a while.
again, because I
Okay, that's good.
I saw it, and it came up during a legislative wrap-up webinar a couple of years ago, and I mentioned it to Sam. He looked into it. It wasn't an issue, so I didn't have to think about it anymore.
I'm sorry, just because you showed the picture, so that recycling, what are the kids putting in there? Is it just plastic water bottles? So there's trash, there's,
It's containers and it's food.
Milk and juice boxes.
Juice boxes, bottles.
They put the food, the fruit.
oh, gotcha, sure.
And that goes
Farmington Food Pantry might be going, I think IR might be going to
Nice.
Greenville Food Pantry, I think. Keith was working, oh, sorry.
I do that in West
That should be a picture that we put on our Facebook page, Green Efforts Facebook.
Yeah, it's really
Sweet,
I think
yeah.
as long as there's no kids in it, it's.
right.
Who is, and where does the recycling go? That's then
It's the
just
same.
picked up,
Yeah,
just.
same,
Okay.
yeah, same. Same as, I don't wanna say residential, I wanna say it's the same contractor, I could be wrong.
Okay.
Just, I will be happy to call Porters and ask them if they have a little environmental club or something that wants to be
Yeah.
involved with the, trash pickup day.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Hey, Dee, what were you gonna say before I interrupted?
Come back, it'll come back to me. Facebook, thank you. If anyone wants to be able to post on Facebook, I know it's a little bit, just because I'm remembering it, I need to be friends with you.
I'm
So that
happy,
way I can add you as an admin.
I'm happy to do it.
I'll check with the town manager's office, because I'm assuming someone has access to, at least for,
It was Erica,
right.
and I tried to kick her off, and I can't. So
Um,
I have to figure out how to.
Right, so
but I
finding
have-
out
yeah.
who, obviously, because I'm assuming someone in the town manager's office has to have access to our Facebook pages,
Mhm.
and then coordinate, having someone from the town manager's office on the Facebook page, just, you know,
Yeah.
so that way someone else is also
Yeah.
attached to it,
It
not
was
just
a little weird that it
for
was
when you're
me.
not on Board of
Yes.
Ed.
Yes, I kept trying to tell people, I'm not on the committee anymore. Okay, all right, great, this is fantastic, I'm excited, composting in Union School.
Oh, that's great.
For waste reduction, can we keep the whole turning the lights off at the school on the agenda?
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Sorry. So as a background, there's,
Or the boards.
well, I think the teachers need some education, so we should put that on our list of things, like teach teachers how to turn off their freaking smart boards. But also, I mean, I have so many pictures on my phone that I angrily take when I go by Noah Wallace at night. But
West District School is so lit
the
up.
smart boards are not off.
Yeah.
I know they're on timers.
So that's the big issue. Like, we want to change the time, like as a background, the timers are set for 9 PM because of open house. But
Thought they
Sam
got-
said we could change it.
I'll check with,
Maybe it's got done.
it's not Matt anymore, someone else was in charge of technology.
So they were changing it to a couple hours earlier, like 6.
Todd and Brian are.
And the teachers would have to just
Yeah.
on open house night.
Okay.
Happens how many times?
Once a year.
And so the whole school stays on because of one night?
But, you know, custodians are, like, my work,
Well, then a lot is on
they
motion.
were there at night.
Right.
Yeah, a lot is on
And they
motion.
can,
Late.
And I
then
think,
it goes off, yeah.
and I think Sam said the boards are also on motion sensors.
I remember
That way they
motion
don't go to
sensors being.
sleep during the
It
day.
seems like a really silly thing, I'm sorry, just to shut it off. Why not shut it off all the way? Why can't it just be shut off when you
We would
leave?
like that to be part of our education.
Couldn't they shut them off and then just turn them on the next day when they come to work?
Yes.
I used to always turn mine off.
I know there's that computer thing
Well,
where
computers aren't always supposed to be turned off.
are always,
Depends on how the IT has it set up as to whether or not it's supposed to.
that could just be an education.
You told me.
I don't know how the Board of Ed works. Town employees that have laptops that they bring home, it's not really a VPN, you're mirroring your work computer, which has its benefits, because I've got a pretty beefy computer for the things that I do, so if I need to do it, I can do it. I can have my little laptop and running off my computer. But again, it only works if it's on.
Yeah, I get it.
And some security pushes can only go when the computer's on.
But that might be an interesting little tidbit to put in the town newsletter at some point, like, should you turn your computer off? How much energy is it using?
Yeah,
You know,
kind of
I used to turn
question.
my computer off every night. And then you have to boot it up in the
Done
morning.
with composting, then I can segue into other and planning ahead, because one of the things that so I talked with, a member of Princeton, like the town of Princeton, not the university, of their equivalent committee, because it was, the Land Trust had an event about climate change, and then they talked about how you need to talk to your municipal and local officials, and I said, okay, I'm the local official, tell me what I need to do, because I don't know. And she said, oh, and then she put me in touch with Princeton. And what they did, because this is going into your is they...
New Jersey, I'm sorry.
Yes, New Jersey, yes. And they coordinated with their local utility to do an energy efficiency push. And what I gathered was New Jersey doesn't have the same requirements that Connecticut does. So like Eversource, you can get an audit done for free. I don't remember now if is it free again? It was $70 at one point. But either way, for the amount of LED light bulbs and spray foam I got, it was well worth the $70. But most people don't know it exists, and most people don't know you can do it for free. So they had coordinated with their utility to like actually create the program. We don't need to do that. But one of the things I was thinking about, it does kind of go into public education, but it also goes into like, I wanted to raise it as something to think about for moving forward is, can we coordinate with Eversource in some way to like push out an education?
It would be really great, a sustainability fair.
I mean, Eversource has the Energize CT program, which has a bunch of rebates for
I got lots of.
heat pumps, insulation, windows, door. There's a ton, and a lot of people just don't know about it. Yeah, I think you
Like
can,
$2,000 on insulation.
it's like 75% of your insulation.
Yeah, they basically, if they come to your house, do the audit and recommend it, that's all it takes.
Right,
If they
that's all.
recommend it, you get your
Yeah.
discount. But if they don't recommend it, you don't get the rebate.
They're all, and they're, yeah, they're tax
They came to our
rebates.
house and they said, oh, we can't do your house, it's too big.
Oh,
There's hybrid hot water heaters that you can get a discount on that actually brings it comparable. If you have an electric hot water heater, replacing it with a hybrid hot water heater with the rebates is almost the same price. It ends up being about the same price. They're normally more expensive because it's basically an air conditioner plopped on top of your hot water heater. I think it works great.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's kind of like a heat
I
pump.
mean, so
Yeah, it's a heat pump where the heat just goes into the water.
Right.
It depends on your family size, it depends on how large, all that, other, how many baths you have, anything like that. I think it works fairly well for us at our house. And
I think Eversource is for sure a huge resource in like just even what you're talking about, having them come to your house. They do so much and savings and then all these extra things. So, I mean, they need to for sure be added to our educational list, but maybe, again, I don't know if it makes sense in maybe September to do a sustainability day. If we can't pull it together, of course, I think it would be crazy to try and do it for April.
Before having to start paying your fall electric bill.
Yeah. But I think, a sustainability fair, there's a lot of local, we could have the master composter again, we could have Deep again, they could have tables. Simsbury does one every single year, so we have an opportunity to go see who Simsbury has and have all the same vendors. They're used to going to these fairs, kinds of things. Simsbury is hugely successful.
Pollinator Pathways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're at Simsbury. I've seen them there before.
Mary, do you want to add that to, should I put it in our list of topics to discuss, pollinator?
Pollinators, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if, just so you know, I am, my husband and I are doing a project to try to eliminate the massive amounts of mugwort on the section of the trail and the Farmington River Trail along Depot Place. And
The land trust is trying to do that on the Coles parcel.
Right. They're also trying to, they're gonna plan to do it when they finish that bridge as well. Told her they were gonna try to put some native plants in there. And so I'm been writing a lot of grant proposals now for trying to get money for a project, and it's also a Yukon Master Gardener project. And I'm hoping that we'll, once we get things going, it'll be another source of information for people on what you can do in your yard, because there's so much we can do that protects biodiversity. And my husband's taught botany in Canton for 30 years, and he goes around and gives talks at a lot of.
He would be good if we have either at the sustainability where we have different tables where people can walk over and get the education themselves, or if we are able to, if we do successful in the library, to then add him to a list to have a rotating.
I would love to go to an invasive species talk.
Yeah, we're gonna do something, probably gonna do 1 or 2 walks a year, I think, just to educate the public about how to recognize them and things like
We
that.
did that in the newsletter.
Yeah.
I know I'm digressing a little bit, but I just wanted to let you know that
That's great.
When I attacked the bittersweet in my yard is when I learned that a handful of people are allergic to bittersweet. I am one of them.
Oh, no. When you touch it or when you, yeah.
Systemic, oh, really?
So,
I know that could happen. Good to know.
Apparently it can, and it's only a small portion of the population, and
you're lucky you.
and I wasn't allergic to poison ivy until I had my first reaction to bittersweet.
Oh, I'm still not, I'm not allergic to poison ivy.
Can I ask a question? So you were talking about sort of planning ahead.
Yes.
And I know you said something about Sustainability Connecticut, and there was, I don't entirely understand, I feel like at one point, did Farmington,
So Farmington is a member of Sustainable CT. The council, the resolution signed it. And
Years ago, though, right?
it was, I was not on the council. Johnny Carrier was the chair, so it would have been 23, 24.
but something that once you're in, you stay in?
You don't have standards you're supposed to meet on a yearly basis?
Well,
No,
you can be a
there's-
member.
We're a member, and by being a member of Sustainable CT, one of the things it does, and Kate Grady Benson did it for the Land Trust with the solar, is there are grant matching programs.
That's where I was headed, yeah.
So you can create a program,
Up to 15,
and they'll,
15,000.
and they'll do a match, and it's essentially a GoFundMe, only through the concept, and then Sustainable CT matches.
Because I was wondering if it was time for us to do another solar push. Just because I was reading about electricity, and electricity is we're the third highest rate.
We are, it's a big problem in Connecticut, it is what I do now. We're running into a problem with the grid as opposed to this electricity sources, like the grid, like we're slowly getting there, like as a state, but it's turning into a battery storage and we need, because the sun doesn't always shine. And while we are getting more, I mean, we still rely a lot on natural gas.
And I think that's what PACE specializes in. So if we were ever to have somebody come talk, that maybe they would have.
PACE does a lot of funding for renewable energy resources.
And they have solution ideas.
Yeah, and the only problem is, no, go ahead.
I was going to say the structure right now for residential programs has changed since the last push.
Yeah, I was going to say
Well, I'm sure there are no
the
tax.
latest tax bill removed
Right.
the federal taxes, I guess,
Right.
for solar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and there's always talk in the legislature about making solar panels, personal property so that they would be taxable. And there's, that could, it is on a utility scale size, like my clients all pay property taxes on it, but then the question becomes like, what happens when it's on someone's roof?
And you buy them and pay sales tax on it? Why would you have to pay?
Well, because not a lot of people, there's two options. You can own your solar panels, or you can have a power purchase agreement. And in a power purchase agreement, the homeowner doesn't own them, the developer owns them. And that's where typically municipalities have gotten mad, because you have these developers that then own a megawatt's worth of solar across multiple residents, but they're not paying property tax on them the way someone who has a 1 megawatt open field, because it's being treated differently.
The mall versus the whole net versus.
Versus residents, yeah. So it's how they get treated, because, and I haven't looked at what the tax status is in a while, but there've been a lot of exclusions that residential solar is not personal property for the purposes of their yearly taxes. I mean, a lot of states don't actually have a personal property tax, but Connecticut does, so. So then it's a question of what, right, exactly, yeah.
Excise tax or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Are we sort of saying in terms of planning ahead, that solar discussion
I
is
think
on that list, we need to figure that out?
Mhm. I think energy generally, and trying to, and I think the energy goes with turning off the computer at night, it goes with this is what we talked about, the spotlights that people have in their yards.
Yes.
Oh,
And
well, that's dark skies. too.
right, and that's what.
And energy,
And
yeah.
so Patty had a discussion just to go over everything, and then also everything that our department has to be doing in the next 6 months to a year. And I did mention that we had discussed it, and anytime a commercial site comes in, we review a photometric plan. We review the lighting levels, the lighting fixtures, the height. We don't allow light trespass over the property lines. We don't allow light temperatures over 4,000 Kelvin. The example I gave to Patty was, if you're driving into Unionville, there's 2 gas stations. There's a Shell and a Mobil. And the Shell replaced their lights a long time ago before we checked everything, and the Mobil did theirs recently. And the Shell, I think they're at 50-plus foot candles for their lighting, and the Mobil's at 20. And anything new, we don't allow them to go over 20-foot candles. So the gas station on the corner of Burlington Road and Plainville Avenue is limited to 20-foot candles, not just because it's surrounded by residential, but that's because we don't let them
I can't
get
see
higher.
it from my house, which I was nervous about when they were putting it in. 'Cause
Right.
I have a lot of, because New Horizons creates a lot of light.
Yes.
Oh.
The Mormon temple is a lot of.
I was just gonna say.
Beautiful.
So
Oh,
that
God.
would go, now, we do review that, but that's only with commercial.
Right, not,
I'll add in subdivisions, but that's really only the streetlights. When we get a new subdivision and we look at the lighting level of the streetlights, we'll look at the intersections. Because really, the streetlights that are out, like, people will call us and they want us to add a streetlight because there's a dark section of the street. We don't add the streetlights to illuminate the street. we add the streetlights to illuminate intersections where there could be conflict points. So we're also not putting a streetlight on every other light pole anymore. We do it much less frequently. And the problem is that the residences are the actual real issues because people just buy a light on Amazon, or it's the super cheap, super bright floodlight, and they're advertising how bright it is and how much it'll light up your whole yard.
There's one on Pocket Notch
and
that
it's not-
it's like, it looks like a Broadway stage, like it's just, when you drive by the house, it's like entirely, it's
And
insane.
a homeowner's not gonna give us a photometric plan, obviously. There's no reason for that. And then most people replace these fixtures without a building permit. If you're just replacing a bulb, you don't need a building permit. Technically, if you're replacing the fixture and it's wired in, you're supposed to get a building permit. Dark Sky has brought this up because it was a presentation I heard from Dark Sky, of that if your lights are on all the time, it shows people where they can hide.
Exactly.
If your lights are on motion sensors, it kicks in your fight or flight response. And if you're trying to speak up to a building and the lights kick on, you're going to immediately freeze and run away because you think you got caught.
Yeah, they showed that bright neighborhoods actually
Right.
have more crime than dark
Right.
neighborhoods.
The more lighting you have, the more, right.
Yeah, that is
So,
interesting, isn't it?
Part of it is education for homeowners of saying, you don't need to light up your house all night
That's
long.
another one to sort of put under the dark skies,
Right.
like in our education topics.
I think we did that in the newsletter.
Right, and we talked about it for bird migration, or just turning off your lights at the bare minimum.
After, hours between 10 and 6 in the morning or
I
something.
think all these like little education pieces, I mean, I think the newsletter's sort of that longer content. I think we could really, on Facebook and Instagram, in these shorter pieces.
Do we have an Instagram account? Does it have?
Explore Farmington does.
Hmm.
But Green Efforts does not.
Hmm.
I'm not on Facebook anymore.
We could,
Not on Facebook, but I do Instagram.
I mean, we obviously need to grow the following on Facebook to begin with. There's only like 500 or 600 followers. But I think that would be easy to do, and then we could just link it to Instagram, yeah.
Even, because a lot of people are dropping Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that you need to grow the following on Facebook to have an
I
Instagram.
feel like the age group. I don't know.
No, you can, well, I've had an Instagram account for years, so.
And people, I think a lot of people are I am seeing more and more people drop off of Facebook and say, we would drop Instagram too, except that's where blah, blah, blah is happening. So but I think,
Well, we could service them simultaneously. It's not that hard to do.
so, all right, so these are all discussions. These are great ideas. Our first step will be to plan the recycling waste reduction. And as is, said a couple of times, the goal is for this to be a working committee because, we love Garrett and we want him to stay with us and we don't want him to totally burn out. And he's got a lot going on in the next, several weeks, months.
And a baby.
And a baby.
No, not.
Not
that old.
So, but I don't have anything else. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.